This is why 90% of all entrepreneurs fail. The failure rate of startups and businesses is extremely high. 9 out of 10 startups fail overall, and 20% of those fail within the first year of operations. I know these numbers are scary, but that's only because entrepreneurship isn't taught in schools, so of course it's going to be hard. Take it from a guy who has failed countless times in business, from losing tens of thousands of pounds to now running a multi-six-figure, award-winning education and tech business here in the UK, recognized by none other than Sir Richard Branson. And I'm here to help you do the same. But first, you need to understand that less than 2% of businesses succeed. I know. And I have studied these businesses with a 10-foot microscope, and I found that they all have this one thing in common that separates them from the 98% of businesses who fail. And I'll share that later in the video, but first, let's talk about the cancer of businesses. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Julian Hall, a multi-award winning serial entrepreneur based here in the UK. And today I'm going to reveal why 90% of businesses fail and what you should do differently in order to succeed. So, why do 98% of businesses fail? Here's the reason. There is one key component that every business has to be good at, and that is to do with how they make money and how they actually run their business. How they make money is from customers, and how they run their business is through their team and employees. Now, being good with people is the thing that I've seen time and time again that has separated successful entrepreneurs from those who fail. Understanding people means that you will understand your customers, and if you can do that really, really well and you can solve a problem for them, then they will exchange their hard-earned cash for the solution that you have developed. But not only that, being really good with people is essential to growing a business, because essentially a business or a company, by definition, is a group of individuals with a common purpose who are there to solve a problem with a particular product or service. Now, if you as an entrepreneur, as a leader, are not good with managing, developing, leaning into the needs of your team and the people who are in your organization, then you're really going to struggle to succeed in business. Now, you might think, well, I'm going to be a solopreneur for the rest of my life, but trust me, you're going to want to engage freelancers. There are going to be other stakeholders, perhaps mentors and other business partners, joint ventures that you will have to engage in, even if you are a solopreneur. All of those things require really good people skills. Anyone in business knows that going into a relationship, long-term or even medium-term, with a partner or a stakeholder or in a joint venture is a little bit like a marriage. And it's less about do you have the skills to deliver on that particular requirement, but is it going to be hell working with you? Is it going to be a nightmare day in, day out? Are you going to fall out? Are you going to have arguments? Are you going to take things personally? And are you going to be unable to navigate the complexities of human nature? All of these things relate to whether or not you really understand your customers and you care about them and you really want to develop something that will change their lives. And it relates to whether or not you can engage team members, business partners, and everyone else I've described in order to build a company. Understanding people means you'll be able to develop the right marketing assets and the right product adaptations for your customers, and being cool under pressure and not cracking and shouting and screaming at your team members means that you will develop as an amazing leader. But what is the one thing, Julian, that successful entrepreneurs do that separates them from the rest, I hear you ask? Well, I am about to burst your bubble. Because the thing that you will read online, on social media, on blogs, even on YouTube, and that is to avoid failure, when actually failure is inevitable. The one thing I see really successful entrepreneurs do is to be good at responding to failures and what I call micro failures across all the functions of a business, whether it's sales, marketing, HR, finance. Things are going to go wrong. Now, if you have a business that requires you to sell to 100 customers a month, you know that you might have to speak to 500 or even 1,000 customers to actually get 100 customers to buy from you. The number of customers that say no, the number of prospects that do not buy from you can be seen as a failure. And it's really something that is pretty demoralizing, getting no after no after no. If you collect reviews for your business and somebody leaves you a bad review, again, that might seem devastating, but actually it's what can you learn from that customer feedback in order for you to improve your services, because no one is expecting a business to have 100% perfect reviews. So recognize that failures are an inevitable part of business, and don't look at them as losses, look at them as learnings. Now, I know failure is a really heavy topic to discuss, so let me unpack it for you a little bit. Fail cheap and to fail fast. As an example, if you're running a Google AdWords campaign, then the best thing is to test that campaign over the course of a week with £100 rather than testing it over a month or 6 months with £1,000 or £5,000. Now, let's be honest, the elephant in the room is that failing can be extremely embarrassing, and we care about what people think as humans. We respond badly if people don't think that we're doing well. But let me tell you this, most people are too busy in their lives to care about whether or not you have failed. There is a colleague of mine who raised almost £500,000 about 2 years ago to run his business. He made a ton of mistakes and he failed. He had to close the business. But I tell you this, he's bounced back super hard, and he uses that failure as a narrative to propel his new business forward, because he's saying that he's learned loads, he's still passionate about the industry that he's going in, and people respect that. People can see that he has the resilience and the grit as an entrepreneur, and that he's backable, that failure isn't going to stop him, and those are the kinds of people that everybody wants to work with. But it's not all doom and gloom, because there are some clear ways that you can improve success. You get a mentor. Now, I know you hear this a lot, but the thing that I would add to it is that you don't just need to have one mentor. You can have more than one mentor for different areas of your business. So for myself, I have mentors that can help me in sales. I have mentors that can help me in finance, in governance, and in HR. As an entrepreneur, many of us have big egos and we think that we are really good at everything, but chances are, unless you are perfect, then you have a number of gaps in your skill set, in your experiences, and potentially there are things that even if you were good at them, you don't necessarily want to do them. So over time, you'll essentially become bad at them. You have to spend time to think about where are the gaps in my skill set, in my experience, that my business really requires, and bring people in who really enjoy doing those things. Because if you don't close those gaps will slow your business down to a halt. And just like in finance, success also compounds. You'll see that in the lives of really successful entrepreneurs, and perhaps you've experienced this yourself, that you don't go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. You are able to go from step 1 to step 5, maybe then to step 15 to maybe step 30, because you become stronger and your ability to leap steps and to do much more than you were able to do, because you've become more efficient, you've become more experienced, you understand the dynamics of your business, the market much greater. So you're able to do things much faster than you would have done in the same amount of time, and therefore your success compounds and compounds and compounds. As an example, when we first ran our kids' business fairs at Ultra Education, our first business fair had 25 young people. In the second year, we didn't have 30, we had 40. In the third year, we didn't have 50, we had 70. And then the year after that, we doubled, and then we doubled again. So in summary, if you don't want your business to fail like 98% of your competitors, then you have to look out for these 5 warning signs that I've covered in this video. I'm here to make sure that you and your business succeed. See you at the top. Ultra and out.